So where do you see the Alloy going in the future now? What's the next 5-year, 10-year plan that you have now?
So you gotta stop by my shop, and as far as high tech in the welding world, because there's nothing technical or tech about it, but I've created actually a table system that is really neat, and I have 2 welders on these swivel arms that go past this table. But basically what I've created is this train track system that these tables can slide and do. I mean, it makes setting up railings and stuff probably in a tenth of the time, So where I see it going is taking that same system and just repeating it down the rows. Basically, and I've talked to the Riverton High School, JTech guy, and he's going to send me enough welders that we can just keep these tables going down the row. This building I have actually has an opportunity to expand right next door next year, and so that is the plan.
Just keep on.
So how many bays do you think you can get in there?
6.
6
railing racks, and you can build up to a 30-foot railing on it, and it's pretty neat. And the way I've set it up, these 4 tables roll back and forth, and they have all these fixturing holes in them and stuff, and basically, I mean, what used to take probably an hour to set up for one single railing, because you set up these guides and everything so your angles are on, the guys can do it without me there in about 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
With 2 tools, they just have this huge angle finder. They know how to do it. Once they have that, they can lock in their blocks and weld away.
So how close are you to getting the high school kids to reading the plans that you draw up and sketch up and executing? Do you still have to be the kind of the intermediary to making sure that everything gets done, or are we getting them trained to a point where you can now really turn over these bays and start really getting them to produce?
It does. Each table kind of takes a leader, and each table would require 3 people, a fitter and 2 welders. But you do need someone with just a little bit of a head on their shoulders because there's 4 things. You got to know your height, your angle, your length, and obviously, how many pickets you're getting, horizontal or vertical. And they just kind of got to know that to set up the table. It's not the most complicated thing, but I have 2 kids working for me right now. One of them cannot figure it out. The other one, all about it. He knows how to do it. I don't even have to say anything. Hell, I rolled up to the shop today. He already had the next railing set up. I was just so proud. And I told him, you learn this system, I'll give you another $1 an hour. You learn how to cut, I'll give you another $1 an hour. You learn how to do this. You make my life easier, I'll pay you however much you want.
Yep.
The more you produce, and then I incentivize him with, for every foot he makes $1.
Oh, wow.
So, but, it's a mindset thing, because the other kid could take it or leave it. He doesn't care.
He's just there for the hourly.
He's just there. He doesn't even know how much his buddy's making more than him. They ride together. He said, you tell him or not, I don't care, but,
Well, that's really cool. I like that you have
I'm probably not going to tell him about this podcast now.
But that's really cool that you're developing and you're being an entrepreneur. You found a niche that you can thrive in, and now you're finding the different layers of it that you can add to it, and having a forward-facing plan. That's what a lot of people miss. They come up with the first idea. Your first idea, if you'd stopped there, you'd be.
I'd probably would have gotten another job.
Yeah, if you'd stopped doing the motorcycles, it didn't work, and the perseverance of pushing through and keep going until you found railings of all things, and found that and move it, and now you've got a plan to expand on that. That's really cool.
I think it's really cool that you can give back to the community. You're going to start taking in these kids, giving them a start. That's not very many people can do that.
It's funny that it's like mutually beneficial, but it is.
Well, I was
right?
just about to say, I get cheaper, a good welder goes for $35 an hour.
Right.
And these kids aren't getting that, but they're getting the experience, and I'm getting, enthusiastic labor.
Yeah.
Well, and for that, you're willing to roll through some mistakes and a little more hand-holding. And
there is a bit of that, we need to do this better. You guys got to focus on this. The attention spans,
Yes.
measure. Just
Twice.
measure everything.
Measure twice.
Keep measuring.
Huh. But I would take that, that I have that same philosophy in my business, that I would much rather have young and enthusiastic and willing and wanting to be there than somebody that has all of it, but, getting them to do something, or God forbid, something outside of the norm.
I already know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, the contractor Scott Youth, and he has a designer, and not getting into names, but anyway, she sent me a welder, that was supposedly, but they were kind of down on their luck. They got fired, so they came in, and I was like, yeah, but they're wanting $35-40 an hour, but they won't cut, they won't grind, they won't fit. What the hell are you going to do
weld.
here?
I only weld.
I have to hire 4 other people so you can do your job?
And I have to pay you way more.
Yeah. So what are you going to do when you're not welding?
Well, again, that's why I would
I'll take enthusiasm over experience anytime.
Yeah, because when you go out and say, okay, we've got to go to Bear Lake and we're going to do this, and it's December and it's 4 degrees out here, but you're going to make $500 more. Okay,
Yeah.
bust up, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Where you get the person that only does welding, that's all they do. They're not going to leave the shop.
Yeah. They don't want to leave the shop.
Right, and which completely goes against your yes theory that's gotten you to this point of
Exactly.
where you're at today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And mold them. And it's kind of funny because the one kid who wants to start his own business, he asked me, can I go in the bids with you? You don't have to pay me. I just want to hear what you say to the customers and stuff like that. I just get the twinkle in my eye, like somebody thinks what I'm doing is cool,
Yeah.
Or somebody wants to learn what I do. You can't help but think that you're the only one that has an interest in this or something, and then all of a sudden there's this kid asking you to puppy dog you,
That's kind of when you've made it in a way.
It feels kind of accomplishing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Now, mind you, the new shop's only so old, but I'm still learning all these things and screwing up all these things, but doing it less screw-ups than I was.
Screwing up way better.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's always
More efficiently.
more efficiently screwing up. Yeah. No, that's always the case. You're constantly developing, and if you're going through stuff and you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. And it's from the sound of it, you've pushed that envelope as far as you possibly can. And most people, like you said, most people won't. Most people won't push their comfort level enough to go get that big job, to even throw a bid in on it just to see what if.
Yeah.
What if you do get it?
2 months ago, I threw a bid up on the Capitol building.
Is you really?
There's 140 bids on it from around the country, but why not? What if?
That'd be wild.
That would be cool.
Because at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of
Have you heard
shapes.
back about it?
Oh, no.
It takes
No,
a while.
I won't get it, but
You never know.
you never know. You never know. That's the thing. What if? And if they call you back, all of a sudden you think you get that what is that? Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome.
Imposter
big time.
syndrome.
That's with the promotion that I just got. It was the same thing. Like I interviewed for it just because that's what I do. Like if I see something that's like, oh, that's a lofty goal to set to try to get that. Like let's just throw my hat in the ring and see what happens. I got that call like 4 or 5 days later. I was like, is this a mistake? Is it a joke? Because I'm kind of like tight with the guy who
who you called, right?
Yeah. And it's like,
Is this you, Jim?
Are you fucking with me right now?
Who put you up to this?
But he was like, no, really, you're gonna do great. I was like, shit, all right, cool. But I think to your point, like you usually don't find what's gonna be like your bread and butter until it's the last place you look.
Yeah.
With railings for you, right? Like it's always the last place you look, and that's where you find it.
Well, and it's also the thing I used to avoid the most because I hated doing it because I didn't know how to do it.
Yep.
You hate doing things you don't know how to do.
Which is usually a very good indicator of finding a niche, by the way.
Yeah.
If you don't like it and it's hard, and there's a lot of other people that don't like it and it's hard, that's probably a good place to start
You
looking.
found something lucrative.
Right.
People are gonna pay.
You can always make money.
Everywhere needs stairs and railings.
Yeah. Well, and you can always make money doing stuff no one wants to do.
Yeah.
And what you get is nobody
Charge.
wants to go through all the hoopla that these big companies want to put you through. They don't want to submit the 15 plans and have the meetings and do this and do that. Yeah. you gotta go through some shit.
Huh. So now when you're out and about, do you like enjoy going on the bids now that you've got kind of, because I just imagine when you started it was very nerve-wracking
Very nerve-wracking.
to go on this.
I get this dry mouth and I start talking real fast and stuttering, and now what you learn is just shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Everyone thinks you know something.
Let that guy talk you into the job.
Yeah. Like, once you have that mentality of convince me to do the job, I'm not going to convince you for me to do the job.
Yeah, why should I do this job?
This is a lot of work.
I'm busy.
You guys are a pain in the ass. And I hear you slow pay. That's a term that guys in the industry use when contractors, they pay them, but it's down the road, And you slow
Net 360.
Slow paying son of a bitch.
It is. He's a nice guy, but he's a slow payer,
Huh.
But once you get that chip on your shoulder, it's a fake chip at first, still, to be honest with you. But
Great chip to have.
it's a
though.
better chip than a nervous chip.
Sell me on your job.
Yeah.
It's very valuable. That's a hard transition for most people to make, and making the mental shift, and part of it, the fake it till you make it, being able to act that way even when you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge proponent of how people get ahead in life.
And to that point, you're bidding a job, and back in the day, and you got $200 in your bank account. You're not really sure how this is going to work, but putting that aside and being able to bid the job not out of desperation, and even though shit isn't going real well, but
Yeah.
you don't ever do it out of desperation, because I've been down that road. You end up usually not getting the job, or you do get it, and it costs you money at the end of the day.
Well, I think that's one of the things that most people don't understand. They if you're there and you're in that desperation mode, what you end up doing is you end up selling money, right? And if you're selling money, and more times than not, they don't pick the cheapest bid just because it's the cheapest.
Absolutely.
There is an element in there of that people want to feel like they're paying for what they get.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard lesson especially when you're hungry and you're desperate,
When you need money.
When you need money.
Yeah.
And to act that way. I'm sure you've got story after story about this.
Oh yeah. And you just learn not to show it, at least, Sure, maybe you don't have, the money in the bank or whatever, but don't sell the money. Don't talk about money. When you're bidding, money is almost irrelevant. They want to know if you're going to get the job done.
Right.
And
Especially these commercial guys.
yeah, but I've been caught talking money. In the beginning, I was talking money, and I think they sense it. And they sense that desperation, and all of a sudden you don't get the phone call.
Right.
But you're the guy like,
Well, I would
you.
imagine it probably
I don't want your
leads,
fucking job.
I would imagine it probably leads to a distrust factor. When you're giving off that vibe and you're trying to cut the corner on the price to get the bid, what else are you going to cut the corner on?
Yeah.
You
You gonna buy cheap bolts now?
right. To save a penny on this.
Yeah. And also, and I've told Topher this before off air, but if you bid the job to get the job done right, and to allow yourself the time and the materials, and you're not trying to dig through the scrap bin to finish the job, you're going to produce a better job. They're going to be happier, and you're going to get bigger jobs down the road from that.
I think that's a very important fact for most people. They you gonna make it? Most people, they need to do it right. Say what you're gonna do it right. Okay, you have to be. I lost all train of thought.
Do it right. You have to be.
You get the jobs.
You get if you sit up there and you do it right, and you pay for the right materials, and you do the right thing. Because not only that, if you're getting paid the right amount, your effort level is going to be at the appropriate rate too.
Right.
Okay, and it's going to feel good through the whole process, and that shows in. I don't care what line of work that you're doing. That shows in that line of work.
Right. All of a sudden, you're not trying to spray paint something when it should have been powder coated. You know, and you're gonna lose jobs because you. But if they can afford you to do the job right and to do it the way you want to do it in the way you need to do it, the right way so it doesn't rust, so it doesn't do this. If they can't afford that, and if they want to go with Joe Schmo who's going to take their money, fine.
Right.
Fine. I don't need your job. And once you have that mentality, you get the job. It's the most insane thing.
It's a really tough one to get over, though. And that's not uncommon for a lot of people. You know, be proud of your work. Know what you're worth. Know what it takes for you to do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, knowing your worth. It's
a huge one.
And these kids, teaching them that, that's probably the biggest hurdle we've had to overcome. Yeah, this part of the stair is going to go in the back corner. No one will ever see it. Doesn't matter.
But
Doesn't
you know
matter.
it will.
We will. Every grind, every weld, we sand everything. We do everything, you know, because our stamp is on it.
Yes.
Our pride is on it. They've paid us to do all of it, you know, not cut corners and not do this. And what's funny is all of a sudden the inspector will see your thing. And somebody important will be sitting over there and he'll be like, I see that you took the time to, you know, make a cover plate for that ugly thing over there or this or that or whatever. And a year later, all of a sudden you're getting a call from that person who was sitting in the corner saying, hey, we got a staircase. You know, it doesn't always happen that way, but it could happen that way, you know.
Yeah.
Do you market at all? Do you market yourself? Is it all word of mouth?
All word of mouth.
That's what I find. It's the same thing for me, right? Everyone asks, like, how do you get so much work? Do work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Take the phone calls, but follow the leads, you know, follow the leads and do that. But, you know, as I'm progressing and as I'm very good at making things, you know, I have this idea in my head to make this table system and it's very efficient. And now all of a sudden I'm like, maybe the word of mouth is not as fast as we are. And it's starting to run out a little bit. So now I'm thinking maybe I do need to advertise a little bit. You know, we're not quite there, but I can see another table system. It will be there. Word of mouth will not keep up with it.
Right.
So then we'll start to get into that marketing thing, and I'm dreading it because I don't know how to do it. You know, but I know myself, and I know I've overcome bigger things than that, and we'll figure out how to market. And I'm sure I'll kind of enjoy it at some point because I'll start to learn how to do it, and then I'll know how to do it. And that's what the biggest thing you try to teach people is just because you don't know how to fucking do it, just do it. Start it. Just write something down. Download an app. Do something.
If you think that like welders and tradesmen are crocks of shit, meet marketers. They are the masters of crocks of shit. That they are the masters of not knowing what the fuck they're doing and just being like, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got this.
We got you.
Yeah.
It's just the guy who can keep faking it, you know. But
No, that's so. One other thing I really want to touch on it because I know you and I know the background to all of this, but it's not easy, right? It takes a certain mindset to get up every day and go out and put yourself out there. Walk me through your mental process. How do you go day in and day out where you're grinding in it and doing motorcycles, right? And it's not working, and you go and figure this out. And what gets you up, gets you through day in and day out? What's your mental process?
you got to elaborate a little bit more on that, you know, because I'm going to give you a catchy answer.
Well, give us the catchy answer, and I'll diverge from there.
I refuse to lose. I want to be something. I want my name, not my name. I don't care me. I just want to be bigger. You know, I see kids 27 years old. I'm 27, almost 28, and yeah, they don't got $5 to their name. We go out to dinner, they can't afford it. You know, I've been stuck with bills from my friends more times than I know, but I want to be better. And all of a sudden you're better, not better, but you're doing it harder than they are.
Oh no, life has trophies.
Oh yeah.
It's money.
And,
Yes.
you know, and even as I digress from that last comment, no, fuck them. I am working harder than them.
Yeah.
That's right.
I am, you know. And
That's knowing your worth.
Mm-hmm. Even in the motorcycle thing, the furniture thing, the other 10 facets that I've come across, I wanted to be the best at that. And I just wanted whatever I was doing, I just wanted it to be bigger and bigger and bigger, and I want me to be bigger, and that's what gets me up. You know, I want to take on those big jobs I don't know how to do, because I just want to, I know once I get one of those under my wing, someone's going to give me another one.
Yes.
Someone's going to, and then that'll evolve into this. Will we be doing railings 5 years from now? I'm not sure. But, you know, I just want to be the best. Not the best, but, you know, bigger.
It's okay to say that.
I want to be bigger.
Yeah.
And I like saying I don't know anyone that works harder. I like saying that. I really do. I get off on it. And which is funny, because my dad, when I was maybe 10 years old, I said, "What is your deal? Why?" He goes, "On my tombstone, I want them to write, 'I'm the hardest worker.'" And I said, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard." And all of a sudden, look at me, you know.
If you'd like that clip and would like to watch another one, click right here. If you'd like to watch the whole video, click right here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.